Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back. It's me, Jay Trades, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how me and the Discord team were able to catch 5 winners and 2 losers today, ending my day up 11 risk to reward, trading just ES and gold during New York session. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the trade recap. So I'm recording this video right after we just ended our live stream with the YouTube. So I've gone a little bit in depth into the trades and the reasoning to why I took these trades, but let's just go over them again, okay? So on the ES, right? So for ES, we took 3 back-to-back winning trades today. I'll go over my analysis here real quick with y'all. Basically, I was looking at bullish delivery today on ES, only bullish. I was not looking at shorting today, just straight bullish because we have a weak high here, right? We have breaks of structure to the upside. So our external structure looks something along the lines of this, right? So this is what I was anticipating going today. It's my high time for draw liquidity of London session high. Yes, it took us a long time to get there, 4+ hours, but we eventually got there, right? So that was my draw coming today. Number 2, for the trade, essentially the best entry I missed out because I woke up late today, guys, and usually I trade only after 9:30 open. So unless you caught this trade, which some of our members absolutely banked, right? They took the short or long initial entry here and caught this upside move. I personally didn't because I was asleep. So when I woke up after 9:30 a.m., I was here, price already mitigated the 5-minute here, which I marked right here. What was the context and confluence of this trade? We swept 80 session low. London session low is already taken, so we don't really consider this. 80 session low got taken during New York session, and most importantly, we took out a ton of liquidity. This low and this low. When we take out liquidity, tap into a PY, that's an A+ setup if it's pro trend, which this is, right? So the best initial setup will be my OB entry model down here, and your stop loss would be there, and your TP can be here for 4 risk reward, or target the 1 hour supply above for 7 risk reward. Now for me personally here, I woke up late like I said, so I missed out on the initial entry and I took a aggressive stop loss limit order OB entry model here for 2 risk reward. So that hit TP very fast, so I'm very glad it hit TP very fast. Sometimes it slows, and yeah, this right here is basically 1-minute inducement. This here is 15-minute inducement. So if we go to the 15-minute chart, that's 15-minute time frame inducement. Remember, every time frame I tell you guys has its own inducement and its own structure. So you just have to think of the market fractally. Once you reach high time frame PYs, take out high time frame liquidity, you should be shifting your bias or your chart to the higher time frame to look for valid places to trade reversals or continuations off of, right? And now, what is this next trade here? I missed our initial stop under setup, which I teach in a course like you guys should know, for a 3 to 4 risk reward here. If you're targeting London session high or the week highs, obviously it ran 6 reward, but usually when we get up here, in high time supply, I tend to notice we chop up a lot before we hit the TP. So I wasn't personally a fan of holding all the way there. So I just held for the standard TP, which is the week high or closest week internal high. And I entered a bit late again on this trade. I missed out on this entry here. And of course, I tell you guys, don't just FOMO randomly into a trade. So I waited patiently, waited for my OB entry model here to perform. Aggressive stop loss here. Got 1.5 risk reward on this winner. Next up, we have another stop under setup here, right? So I took another stop under setup, stop loss covering this PY below, and took this for a 3 risk reward, right? Again, I could have targeted my original draw liquidity, but this was a personal decision I decided to make based on personal preference in terms of I didn't want to hold through what can be potentially all this chop because I've seen this occur and play out from my experience trading all the time in high time supply when we have this battle between buyers and sellers here, if you want to call it that. And what tends to happen is we consolidate a lot to build up a ton of liquidity for the markets. So for here in this case, basically, I just went for, again, the standard TP here for a 3 risk reward. So after that, that was it for this day on ES, right? We just laid out a lot of consolidation. I was done trading here. So 3 winners on ES today, back to back to back for 6 risk reward. Now let's go to gold. So gold, I took 4 trades on gold. The first one is a stop hunter to the downside because we mitigated 5-minute supply here, right, on the left. And the main reason why I was looking for shorts is we have an 8:15 data wick here. So those tend to get taken out 80% of times based on my data collection. I took a stop hunter setup, which I teach in a course, like you guys know, for a 3 risk reward here, targeting that data wick. And then basically I took a risky impulse entry model here because we had an impulse delivery here, and that's lost. Probabilities, it's all good. It's not the best probability trade because we never tapped into any POI of some sort. Later we tapped into POI here, and I took about OB entry model, another stop loss, and that's okay, right? This is the important lesson of today's trade recap. And I've gone over this on stream, but I want to emphasize it one more time. You need to understand your risk, not only your risk management, because risk management is easy, right? That's just determining how much risk you want to risk percent per trade. What is something else you need to consider is your risk tolerance. So you may ask, what is risk tolerance? Risk tolerance is how many trades are you willing to lose in a row given one single trade idea. So when I say one single trade idea, I mean if you're looking for longs, that's considered a trade idea. If you're looking for shorts, that's a different trade idea. So how many losses in a row are you willing to take before cashing the right move or before accepting your defeat that you're just wrong, right? Some of you guys are only taking one loss and not taking the next trade, even though the next trade is a winner. And at that point, I'm just telling you guys what the system I teach, right? We are snipers in the market, meaning we get very tight stop losses and very high risk reward. So of course, there's no point in just taking one attempt, right? You want to give yourself breathing room to take a few attempts, because once that winner hits with a good win rate, you're going to bank, right? Like for example, this trade later, I got 4 reward out of this trade, but later it ran to my original draw liquidity I caught out to Discord and for 8.5 risk reward, right? Which is crazy good for an intraday trade. So I took a loss here, took another loss here. A lot of people would have probably folded here at this point and stopped trading. This is why you guys backtest, right? When you backtest, you gain experience in the markets, and you understand probabilities and how the system works. And again, I took it off this PY here. So this long here was off this PY here. We had an IFVG entry model. I took that because we had internal sweeps here. We're less likely to come out to the OB. You can use the aggressive stop loss here if you want to use this, or even prior to mitigation. That's another stop loss method I teach you guys in the course. You can double your risk reward there, but I kept it more conservative here because I knew this is an A+ setup. Datawick swept, low swept, tapped in PY. We had manipulation before. We have a clear draw on liquidity, right? A lot of confluences going this long here, and eventually you hit TP, as you can see. Again, I'm not sitting here looking at and staring at all these candles, right, guys? I'm not. I'm just not sitting here through all this looking at these candles. I'm doing something else with my free time, right? You guys have to understand that you cannot control the market. So once you enter a trade, stop loss TP, break-even management, if you have a break-even management, you don't want to do anything else with the trade. Just let it run. So that's what I did here, and it worked out in my favor. Again, another stop hunter setup, 2 continuations, but at this point, I was already done with this winner, so I didn't want to take any more continuations, but you most definitely could have, because I called this strong liquidity out to the private trading group. And now let me show you guys here a screenshot from one of the members. So one of the members, Sato-san in the Discord, one of my course members, he literally got the craziest gold long ever. So let me send you guys this real quick right here. So this was his long on gold. So he entered with my entry model I teach within the course here. Sniper entry and sniper exit. He exited around here, right? Which is near basically where he maximized the output of his winning trade. So one of our course members here, Sato-san, sent me the screenshot, right? While I was on stream. He entered long here and exited all the way up there for 6 risk reward. So he made even more than me. So I'm very glad to see that some of our students are making even more risk reward than me. That's really good to see that you guys are improving, because at the end of the day, I'm here to look at you guys improve, right? I want you guys to improve your own trading. I'm honestly improving slowly by myself, but I'm at a point where there's not much room for improvement, and I'm here just to help you guys out to truly change your life around. So again, if you're interested in joining the course, definitely check that out. There's a July sale right now, July 4th. It's only a few days, and again, it's going to get filled up very soon. So if you don't get in now, it might be too late, right? If you're seeing this video. So again, for those that are not in the course yet, use the code. Otherwise, if you're in the course watching this, keep grinding, man. Keep grinding. You'll get there eventually, right? Keep grinding. Go through the videos, do your back testing, do your due diligence, and that's basically it for me for today's video. In terms of risk tolerance, another thing I want to bring up is you typically just want to have a rough number in your head. How many losses are you willing to accept in a row before you're actually wrong on the trade? This is something you can go and back test, go through your journal, and you can determine the exact number. For me, in general, I don't take 3 losses in a row given a single trade idea. If I do, more often than not, I'm just wrong in that direction, and I accept defeat, right? You can't be 100% in the markets. Now, one more thing to mention why my draw liquidity was higher here. I was anticipating this as a 30-minute manipulation to downside, meaning we don't come back to this entire range here, right? I called this out a long time ago that I'm still thinking we're bullish and this is not going to hold the supply, which we failed, right? It ultimately broke above. What happened here? If you think about time frames fractally, we had a stop hunter set up right here on the 1 hour, but it failed because once you go to the lower time frame where you would enter a stop hunter setup with confirmation, here and here, we failed twice. So what I mean by fail, we did not make a new low here, right? We did not take out these lows here. Therefore, if we truly were bullish or bearish, we should be going down here taking out this low, but we didn't. Now we came back here, come back here is fine. It could be a mitigation cycle, but guess what? It's not. We failed and we continued higher from here. Once I saw this signature in price, I realized draw liquidity is higher. That's why I was biased bullish the entire day on both ES and gold. So hopefully this video helps you guys out for free, and hope to see you guys in the free Discord as well as in the course, man. Peace out, y'all. Have a good week trading.